Sean, this looks like a whole chemistry set you've got going here. I know that with Williams Vaughan, the possibilities are endless. I know of all the various beer styles that we've discovered already on your website and already with all the applications and a little spreadsheet that you make available to us.
Yep.
But you're going to take me a little bit further down the path today.
Yep.
You're going to show me how to use some really creative techniques to add flavors to my beer, which people wouldn't even have thought about.
We certainly can take our kits, and I think of our kits quite often as a broth. If I was a chef, it's a broth, and a broth can be fantastic. It's a lovely thing to consume, but you can also do things with the broth, and in very traditional sense, you can add additional hops, but you can also add grains for flavor, malt for additional flavor, body, and alcohol. So it's simply a case of taking grains that you buy from a homebrew shop, and they have to be cracked, so they have to be ready to be steeped. And steeping is the same process for hops as it is for grains. We're putting it into a liquid at about 80 degrees Celsius. And it's fine if it drops down to 70. You don't want it to drop down below 65, but it's in that zone. It starts to extract some of the flavor and color and body from the grains, which we then can put into our brews.
Let's talk about two that's quite often found in something called Hoegaarden, which is your coriander and your orange peel.
Yeah, so we, it really is a simple process of taking coriander seeds and orange peel, putting that into a post-fermentation process or pre-fermentation. So it really is, again, it just kind of has nuances on the flavour, no right or wrong. The important thing is that this is sanitized before it goes in, and it really creates some really strong banana-y, clovey flavours that you associate with Hoegaarden.
You've got coconuts, you've got coconut, you've got other interesting things around here. Same idea, you're going to steep those?
No, these are actually going to go straight in. So basically this is my little kit bag for stout, right? So we've got freeze-dried raspberries. These freeze-dried raspberries available in New Zealand from a business called Fresh As are amazing, and they do a range of ingredients. We've got raw cacao nibs. We've got coconut flakes, toasted coconut flakes. We've got coffee beans and a vanilla pod. And these things work really well together in a stout, so you can impart all sorts of flavours. Again, you're putting them in a hop sock. You're typically using something like vodka because it's a neutral spirit to sanitize, and then into the fermenter.
Then you've got some choices here of adding things to your beer after it's all said and done, actually when you pour it.
So what I'm doing with these, this came about because I drank a beer in the US that kind of blew my mind. It was a coffee Kolsch. I never thought coffee could go with a light lager like a Kolsch. It had cinnamon and vanilla in it. So what I'm going to do with these is I'm actually going to eyedrop into a beer to try and get that flavour combination right, and then move it back through the brewing process. So eventually I will be doing it at fermentation stage, but I just want to kind of know that I can get close with those flavours.
And then we've got the heavy booze on the right here.
That's when you get tired of drinking beer. So this is quite a bit of fun too. So you can basically, you need to sanitize your ingredients when they go in, either pre-fermentation or after fermentation. They need to be sanitized. And some of these spirits impart an awesome flavor into beer. So whether it's bourbon, Cointreau, what else have we got here? So we've got some rum, interesting flavors.
One of the ways I got past buying a Williams Vaughan is I promised my wife cider.
Yep.
And she doesn't want to drink the same cider over and over and over again. So what are my choices there?
So again, I've got a couple of examples here of some craft purees, but again, in New Zealand, Barker's fruit syrup cordials are fantastic. What you need to do is take a flavour. I've used elderflower and lime. It's beautiful. My wife loves it. I've used blackcurrant, same thing. So you're basically putting these syrups in at the point of fermentation, so as you're introducing the yeast, because there's real sugar in them. Do not get the diet ones, that's pointless. We want real sugar in these things. The yeast eats them up and converts them, leaves the flavour behind. And a general rule of thumb is to put the right concentration as if you're making approximately half the amount of the brew keg, so 5 litres of drinkable cordial.
Does make sense. That gives you the strength of the cordial or the puree that you need to put in, and then
without being ridiculously overpowering.
And you add some flavour to your ciders.
Yep.
Awesome. You're ready to start cooking?
Let's do that.
All right.